Kneel. Put your hand in the box.
Hello and welcome, y'all. Today we're back taking another look into Dune Awakening. A lot of the information that we'll be looking at today in this video will be found in the Dune Awakening wiki, which I'll have a link to down below, so make sure you check that out. There is a lot of information there that is constantly being updated, so if you're wanting to get all the knowledge about the game, I'd say go ahead and favorite that and keep an eye on it. The first thing I want to take a look at in this video are the sandworms, also known as the Shai Halud by the Freeman. So they are enormous worms, basically, that live in the sands of Arrakis. I know a lot of you probably are very familiar with the worms based on what you've seen for the game already, and also based on Dune lore. These worms in the game can get to be pretty freaking huge. I know there are two different sizes for the worms. There are small worms, and those are in areas with more shallow sand. And then you have the big worms, and those are more in the open desert. They're supposed to be around 10 sandworms in the Haga Basin area, but up to 50 in the massively expansive deep desert. And the deep desert, with how big and massive that is, you know good and well those are going to be the big worms. So that is pretty insane. Just keep an eye out on that worm meter like you see here. If you see that red and you see the worm breach like that, run. Freaking run. Do not stop. Do not collect go. Just keep running, because your booty is about to get got. I know right now there is no worm riding in the game like what we've seen in the lore and in the movies, but that is something that was mentioned that could possibly be coming later, so we'll keep an eye on that. That would be pretty freaking badass to be able to hitch a ride on a worm. So I'm crossing my fingers and hoping for it. The next thing is going to be personal shields that we look at. Personal shields are a big part of Dune lore. With the shields, this does end up pushing a lot of melee in combat, because when you have the daggers and the swords, and you can do the slow attacks to basically pierce and shatter the shield, and then that's when you can either swap to a gun and finish them off, or you can continue to beat the crap out of somebody with your melee weapon. The shields are pretty freaking cool to use. They do change colors even, so it starts off blue when it's around you, and as it gets hit, you'll see that it turns red as it's taking damage. Now, some guns can pierce the shields. You do have to be careful, especially in the higher level areas. So just because you have a shield doesn't mean you're invincible. And also, your shield will drain power as you're being hit too. Keep an eye on that yellow bar on the bottom left for your power. If you see that get drained fully, then your shield will poof and you are completely vulnerable. You have to be cautious of that. There are definitely a variety of the ranged weapons you can choose from. You have anything from laser guns, scatter guns, which are like shotguns, possibly have gas, like a gauze rifle. There are spring-propelled dart weapons. There are heavy weapons as well, like flamethrowers. There's also heavy laser guns. There could possibly be rocket launchers, and as we see in the video, which is pretty badass if I do say. When it comes to the vehicles in the game, the Ornithopter is pretty much one of the top that we've seen in videos so far. The Ornithopters are constructed same as the sand bikes we've seen in the game, where you have to go piece by piece with a welding torch looking tool. With these, there are pieces that we have seen on videos that are confirmed, like the chassis, the generator, engine, wings, and cockpit. Whether or not there are other components, that's still something that's possible, but have not been confirmed yet. Keep an eye on that, obviously, as we get more information. The Ornithopters are awesome because it gives you safety as you are exploring the desert, because you have the ability to fly higher. You can avoid any worm that might try to come and eat your booty. So to save your booty from the worm, the Ornithopter is awesome. Also too, there have been different types of ornithopter possible. Nothing's really been confirmed as far as exactly what they are, but we do know that there are going to be different ones from what we've seen. Now, there is an ability to dive in the ornithopter, as we've seen in some of the videos as well. More than likely, it is the vulture option that you see on the right side of the screen. But we do have basic ornithopters that we've seen quite a bit in videos. The large ornithopter could be considered like a cargo hauler, where it's capable of carrying heavy loads of cargo and maybe small harvesters. It's kind of interesting to see as well. It has not been confirmed as far as the controls, but from what's been said, it sounds like it's kind of an arcade style, so it shouldn't be too complex, which is pretty awesome as well. But these look like they'd be a lot of fun to fly around, so I'm really super excited to see what we're in for with the thopters. In the desert, there are plenty of big rock formations to climb, and thankfully in Dune Awakening we already know you can definitely climb anything you put your heart to, which is freaking awesome. But once you're up there, getting down could be a challenge, so why not use a suspensor belt? So these belts are freaking awesome and handy to have. There's not a lot of confirmed information on them, not really a whole lot to say, but definitely something to look forward to for sure. With the building system in the game, it does work in a kind of blueprint fashion. You place down your pieces as a blueprint first, and you can either build them as you place them or place all the blueprints and then come back and build them. However you want to do it is perfectly fine. And then you have your base. Now, you can go back and save your base as a blueprint as well, and then you can either just hold on to that for later use, or you can sell that blueprint in the player market. So you can actually give your builds to other people if they want, which is kind of freaking cool. I like that option. I think that's a really interesting way to do things. Kind of cool. You can expand your territory, so you'll definitely have that option as you go. But keep in mind, you do have to pay taxes on your territory. So the bigger the territory, the more taxes you'll have to pay. That is definitely a thing. One thing to keep note too is where you build. So if you build within the shield wall, then you are perfectly safe. Your base won't get wiped. However, if you build outside of the shield wall, then you are subject to the destruction that comes with the Coriolis storm. Once a week, the storm will hit and it will wipe everything outside the shield wall as far as bases. That's something to keep an eye on, be cautious of for sure. Your base does have a shield. However, you do need power to keep that shield going. So as long as you keep your generators, your turbines, as long as you have power basically, then you're good. As soon as that power goes away, then you are subject to damage from the Coriolis storm that will happen once a week. Just something to be cautious of when it comes to your building. One cool thing is we do have the option for multiple building styles. So the first one we see is the basic Chom building set, but also with your factions you get building sets as well, like the Atreides and the Harkonnen. That is another thing that I think is pretty awesome, and I'm hoping that it opens the door for more in the future too. It'd be pretty awesome to see what we can have access to later on, and possibly how creative we can get with the building in the future. I'm pretty excited for anything that has to do with building in this game. Spice is a crucial part of Dune Awakening. It is a valuable resource that we can assume may be used in some crafting. We do know that spice can alter some of your skills, but we don't know what and how. That's something that we'll have to keep an eye on too. With it being a valuable resource, it is going to open the door for PvP and battles to claim the resource. So you may go and try to harvest some spice and end up in an all-out war for it. Spice is all chaos and I am all for it. We know that heat stroke is something to worry about in the game. Staying out in the sunlight too long, gotta be looking for shade. Another worry is quicksand, so you have to be cautious of where you're stepping. Sandstorms are another beast in this game, so you do want to make sure that you have shelter. As soon as that alert comes up that there's a sandstorm coming, go ahead and find somewhere that says you're enclosed or sheltered or water sealed. On the left side of your screen there's a little icon and it'll tell you when you are sheltered or when you're not. The storm is amazing to watch roll in, as you can see here. It's absolutely beautiful and scary at the same time. Definitely want to make sure you're safe. Dune Awakening will also have the test of Akko. Apologize if I'm saying that wrong. Or known as the 7 Mystic Questions based on Dune lore. We don't know a whole lot about this, but just based off of the videos that we've seen and screenshots we've seen, it looks like more than likely that's what this could be. Whether or not that's actually it, that's left to be determined later, but it's actually pretty intriguing. I'm curious where this will go. What will you get out of doing these? You know, like it's very curious. So I can't wait to see and learn more about this. That's all I have for today's video on Dune Awakening. Remember to check the link below for the Dune Awakening wiki. It's an awesome web resource there for the game coming out soon. Keep an eye out, mark your calendars, wishlist on Steam. It's gonna be amazing. I do have a link in the top right to another one of my Dune Awakening videos if you want to check it out. Remember to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on anything else that's coming, and y'all are amazing.
I hold at your neck the Gom Jabbar. Don't pull away or you will die.